Welcome back everybody, back again with a new design of mine that has come out of Nepal. This is done by Raju Bareilly and he works with Timothy McLaughlin at Dragonfly Kukri and Knives. This will be available on their website very soon. We're just going to make some minor adjustments, but I wanted to show you what we've done so far, and even if you'd like to give us a bit of feedback and see if you'd like to see some, I don't know, some design changes. We'll see how popular these design changes would be, and if we have a majority consensus, we might even change it a little bit. But this is how it came to me as it stands. This is the prototype, and so far I actually love it. Raju's had an incredible eye for detail in this, and we will actually show you that very shortly in a little more detail. But first things first, we've got to get the specs out of the way. So we've got our scales here. We'll put this on here, and that is 960 grams for the whole kit. That's pretty good. All right, take that off, and we will get the main blade out, and we'll take some dimensions of just the blade itself. Okay, so I can tell you already straight up that this is a 10-inch blade. So that's 10 inches, 25 centimeters, 250 mil. It's a 5-inch handle, which is, what's a 5-inch handle? That's 125 mil or 12.5 centimeters. It has a 7mm spine at the bolster with a distal taper that tapers down to 3mm before the tip. And it is a oval-shaped Western-style handle. It does come with a finger choil for multiple grips, and it does come with a hammer pommel for striking in your stakes. Okay, it doesn't come with a lanyard. I've put that on myself. All right. Now, it's a very, very fine edged. A lot of people who have had kukris in the past usually have a pretty obtuse edge, you know, because it's made for splitting and heavy chopping of wood. Or every now and then, if you come through a really nice sort of combat model, if you want to call it that, it's a very fine edge. It's like razor sharp. This is closer to that because I didn't design this to be a heavy chopper. I designed this to be more of a camp tool that does a little bit of everything. So if you were to try and do heavy chopping of wood, this would probably stick a lot more. And as far as batoning goes, yeah, you're better off making, you know, some splitting wedges and using the hammer to split your wood that way. Anywho, the attention to detail and the artful sort of details in this is your copper inlay fuller at the top, and a brass inlay for my double spiral. That is the only mark I've put in there on the blade to denote it as my design, because I decided that I was starting to get a little bit crazy with all the sort of marks and stuff I put on my designs to try and denote it as mine. I was just scared of them being stolen, but it doesn't matter anymore. They are getting stolen regardless. So there's my double spiral. That's my little thing of like, yep, that's my design. You'll also see my encircled cross on the scabbard in the patterns, and yeah, both sides of the scabbard are patterned because it is ambidextrous. You can flip this around right or left-handed as required, because I like to wear my blades in multiple areas depending on the season. So in summer, you know, it's just on a belt behind me. In winter, sometimes I use a baldric carry, sometimes I do all sorts of stuff. So I switch it back and forth. And also if you wanted to resell these or whatever, trade them, gift them, whatever you're doing, you don't have to worry about whether they're left or right-handed, because all the scabbards are the same for this one. And you can just switch it around. Cool. All right, so point of balance is in the finger choil. And let's see if I can get it. There you go. It's not a blade heavy balance, but it's not a spine heavy balance either. It's kind of like neutral. It's kind of in the middle there somewhere. So it's quite nice. Very, 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 very sharp. Super fine edged, but it does still have a convex secondary bevel. And I mean, you might be able to see that if in the reflection, the way that the light reflects off it, you know, that last little bit towards the edge is convex, gives it a lot of additional strength. So when we test this, I will still be chopping and batoning with it. And it is oil quenched. So it will be tougher than a water quenched one, and it won't bend as easily. It should spring back to being straight even if it's flexed, but we will have to see how the tempering was done on this. We'll have to see how good the tempering does, because Raju's only new to oil quenching and tempering and all that kind of business. But from what I've seen of his testing, he's put this through bone and stuff. I'll roll that in shortly.
अब यो हड्डी काटेमा त बोन Raju is cutting bone right now. Cut. He is cutting wood with kukri. So Daniel sir, you can see here we are taking video.
What else? This portion here, I was debating whether or not I was going to move the little integrated guard back a little bit and the finger choil back a little bit. What that'll do is it'll free up a bit more space for more cutting edge, but the trade-off for that is it's going to move the point of balance back slightly as well, which is fine unless you want to do what some of the stuff I do, which is your different grips. Now, let's cover those briefly before I explain what I mean by that. You've got extended chopping here. Now, with a 10-inch blade, 5-inch handle, you can imagine that if you hold it here with the point of balance being here, which on a traditional kukri, if you can imagine a normal handle here and this all being blade, that's about where it would normally be. Which means this will actually chop the same as a larger blade if you hold it here. That's why I have the pinky lanyard. It keeps it on your hand, so even if you sort of stuff up, it won't come out flying out of your hand. So there's that. Then you have your normal grip, so lighter chopping, limbing, that kind of business. You come up here like that, all right, and then you got carving in here, all right, and even using that hook portion. A lot of people don't understand what the hook portion is. For me, how I use it, carves a hollow in wood for spoons and stuff. It can also help guide the blade, so if you put a stick in there that you're doing feathers or something with, it'll just stick it between that part and that part without sliding around everywhere, so it's quite stable. So it'll give you a little bit of extra control. It also helps shift the weight forward, which is important for chopping. All right, so it's all sort of multiple stuff going on there. The next grip is like that, with the thumb in the little fuller in the center there. This finger comes through the choil, and these grab the handle. That's right on the balance point, and that's for slicing food, because it is a very fine edge. Slicing your food and all that kind of business. Then you have one last grip where you come up here like this, okay? And that's what that sweeping belly at the end is for skinning. Now, depending on how you skin your animals, that's all up to you. For me, I don't really do a whole lot of skinning with the blade itself. I'll start the skinning with the blade, and then once I've got everything sorted out the way I want it, I'll actually tear the hide off, and sometimes I'll actually just get a sharpened stick so that it doesn't penetrate the hide, just to separate the hide from the animal. But that's neither here nor there. That's a hunting thing, and some people get a little bit upset by that, so we'll leave it there. Of course, you've also got your hammer pommel, and the way this works with the handle, because it's the only thing we're going to change, is this top pin is still going to be there, but it's going to be hollowed out to be a bow drill divot as well as a pin. Okay, so it's multifunctional. Brass pin is going to be gone completely. Last pin will also be gone, and this lanyard hole will become a slightly larger lanyard hole where that pin was. So it's securing the tang of the knife to the handle, but it's also multifunctional. So that's what we're going to do there. The way that you would use this bow drill divot when it's done is you hook your pinky through the balance point in the finger choil there, and you just curl around like that. That keeps the knife very stable and puts that bow drill divot exactly where it needs to be for you to use it. Okay? very stable. It's not going to wobble around anywhere. Just make sure you don't have anyone in front of you that's going to touch the sharp part, because I've had people get up me before when we were filming one of these, demonstration of this, and my kid got a little bit close and they're like, oh, anyway, neither here nor there. All right, so the blade itself though, let's check its weight because we haven't done that yet. The blade itself is, where are we? 590 grams. Not a bad weight for a 10-inch blade that's still made to be able to do heavy chopping and stuff, alright? I wanted it to have enough weight to carry inertia through wood, but I didn't want it to be so heavy that, you know, it weighs 1.2 kilo with the full kit. Anyway, enough about that. Let's move on. Scabbard, ambidextrous like I've said. You can take it off, flip it around, and now you can wear it multiple locations, which is really good. Comes with a tinder pouch. Now, this one's a little bit stiff, and I've talked to Timothy about it, talked to Raju about it. We're looking to see if we can get a softer one made. But even as it is, it'll open, and you can fit a piece of fat wood down there, the shape of the pouch with a hole drilled in it and a little cord so you can pull it out. Alright? That way you've got your fat wood, and that's your tinder. You could also, once we get the softer one made, you could even put flash tinder such as char cloth and stuff in there as well, and that would still function. It just needs to be a bit softer so you can get it out without tearing it. So we're looking into that. And at the back you've got your chakmak. Chakmak, stout bit of steel, functions very well for honing the edge. I've included a bottle opener there for those of you that like to have a bit of a beverage while you're doing your camp stuff. I know I do. Alright, and it's also hard enough, and the right composition, right hardening, all that kind of business. You can throw sparks with it with a piece of chert, flint, or quartz. Use it like a steel striker, okay? It's also got a 90-degree spine on it, so you can use it with your ferro rod as well. So very multifunctional bit of kit. The only thing it doesn't have is a slight taper towards that tip, so you can use it as a drill. You can still drill with it, sure, it'll work, but it's not going to work as well, okay? So I could fix that quite easily, but we'll see how it works first during my review before I make that assessment. Cool. So that is a brief, last thing I'll mention is the scabbard and these studs. Now, a lot of smiths get this part wrong, okay? You'll see they put that stud there, they even put this little keeper here, but then they have rivets down here, riveting it to the rest of the frog, which renders this useless, okay? Because the way this is supposed to work is you pull that keeper up, unlocks it, and then you just sort of pull that stud through the leather slot, and then you can just fold that over the top. And I mean, this is a little bit tough, but I'm going to loosen up some oil and stuff, but it'll release it and open. That's so you can put it on your belt without taking your belt off. So when you're putting rivets through here and through this, you're eliminating that. It's useless then. See, there's a little hole punched in there, so you've got a slot and then the hole punched. That's where the stud is supposed to sit when you put it back on. It's freeing up already. Feed that down so that the leather and everything sits nice and neatly flat, and then you just slide your keeper down like that, just to kind of lock it all in. That's how that works. At the bottom, you've got another slot and hole, so if you have a wider belt, you can move it up that way. That's what they're supposed to do, and Raju has nailed it. Very happy with that. So, that's Guardian. In a nutshell, that's essentially what Guardian is. Retention's fantastic on everything, and then you just push it with your thumb, out it comes. Very smooth, very, very nice. Very multifunctional bit of kit, and these will be exclusive to Dragonfly Kukri and Knives once we sort out that handle. So thank you for watching, thank you for your attention. Go check out Dragonfly Kukri and Knives if you want to see a little bit more of this while you're waiting for me to do my functional review, which should be soon. Alright, thank you very much for your time. Catch ya.